So what would you say for you, especially in your experience, has been the most important quality for success in sales?
Authenticity.
All right.
Yeah. I really have gotten to the point where I cannot be anyone other than who I am.
Wow.
And so when I show up authentic, when I share from my heart, I share what I've seen and I'm authentic and genuine and honest.
Yeah.
People just want more of that.
Welcome to the Sold Out Sales Podcast, the podcast that will equip both the seasoned sales professional and the more reluctant seller with mindset shifts and strategies needed to succeed in a competitive marketplace. Welcome back to the Sold Out Sales Podcast. I am always excited. I say that every week because it's so true. And this week, I'm even more excited because not only do I have an amazing expert in her field, she's a friend. She's one of my beloved clients, and I cannot wait to share her exuberance, her bubbliness, her professionalism, all the things that come in the form of Bronwyn Davis. So let's meet Bronwyn. Bronwyn, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and one thing they're not going to find out about you in your bio or on your website.
Ooh, wow. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome.
You know I love you so much.
Right back at you, girl.
And I love being your client. You have helped me so much. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So I am the founder of Conscious Ketamine Coaching Academy.
Yes.
I train medical professionals, health and wellness practitioners, and coaches on how to safely and effectively integrate therapeutic ketamine into their practice. So one thing people don't know about me, they may have read it somewhere, but I'm a former television news anchor.
Yes.
So that doesn't come out very often as far as in my everyday conversation.
Right.
But I love that I have that background because it now helps me in the work I do now, speaking and having my own podcast.
Yes, love it. Tell us the name of your podcast.
Ketamine Coaching Academy.
Wonderful. So we'll definitely make sure that's in the show notes also. So the one thing I love about you of all the many things is how comfortable you are just getting on video and talking about your business. How has just being in that industry before really informed how you know what to say and how to say it and all of those things? Do you think that that makes it a lot easier for you?
Absolutely. Well, I spent over 10 years in the broadcasting industry.
Okay.
I started in LA and did behind the scenes work as a writer and producer. Then went to Oregon, Southern Oregon, and was a television news anchor and reporter there.
Yeah.
I've also been here in Phoenix. So I was on Your Life A to Z on KTVK and had my own segment. So those are just very different ways of being in the broadcasting industry. And all of it, all the years has helped me just feel more comfortable on camera. But I have to say, when I started, I did not feel comfortable.
Really?
Yes.
No
yes.
way.
This is years and years of me being able to just truly be myself. And I think the reason why I wasn't good back then when I first started is because I was trying to be someone else.
Gotcha.
At the time, a big news anchor was Connie Chung and Jane Pauley and all these big professionals. Well, I was trying to make me sound like them and sit like them and stand like them and do all these things. And it was horrible.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
Because I wasn't them. And I think through life and growing up and, here we are years later, decades later.
Yeah.
I've really gotten more comfortable in my skin and feel just authentic. So now I just get to come on and be myself because I don't know how to be anyone else than that.
Right there. Well, first of all, you just got your first lesson. And if we would just learn how to be ourselves or be comfortable being ourselves, especially when we're just doing video or we're having a conversation, even a sales conversation, right? It makes all the difference in the world.
Yes, absolutely.
I was so excited to talk to you for so many reasons, but this is, I think, is going to be such a powerful conversation because the person who is selling makeup it's easier for them. It's easier for them because everyone's looking for makeup at some point, or most women are, right? The person who is selling supplements that people understand, it's one thing. I love that. You've been able to create a lane, and then you've been a pioneer in this industry, create basically your own lane, and are getting people to come into the academy and learn how they can help their clients. What would you say is one tip, based on your experience, for that person who's saying, no one understands what I do, it's hard for me to sell it, I don't know what to do? What's the thing that's been the tip that has gotten you past the fear of people not understanding and you being able to create your own success?
Yeah, I would say just keep going. It's okay that those around us don't understand.
Yeah.
I have very dear family members and friends who I thought were like ride or dies. And
Yes.
of course they're going to understand, that don't understand.
Yes.
And being a visionary, it's like you have to believe. You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You have to believe in what it is you are bringing out into the world. And I would say that would be my biggest tip, is just to have 100% faith and belief that you are being guided towards something bigger. And not everyone understands. When I first started in the ketamine coaching business, people at networking events would look at me like I had 3 heads.
Yeah.
They were like, what?
Yeah.
And, at first I was like, because I was like, wait, why don't you understand?
Yeah, of course.
But now it's like, that's okay. They just don't understand
Yet. That's exactly what I was
Yes.
going to say. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And it's okay. Persevere. Believe in yourself. Believe in your product no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I get to see every single day my clients transform.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here on this planet. I know I am here to help people transform their lives. So when I get to see it and I have total conviction and faith and belief, just because someone doesn't understand, that's okay.
Yeah.
I understand. My clients understand.
Very
That's
true.
all that's important.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've said for years, and you probably have heard me say this, that confidence is so much more powerful than competence in some cases when it pertains to presenting your services, your products to the marketplace, because people have to see you believe before they'll believe. Do you find that in the industry that you find yourself in, or even maybe what you were doing before in coaching period, do you find that your confidence transfers for someone else who doesn't necessarily believe immediately?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just yesterday had a conversation with a potential who is interested in joining the academy to get certified as a conscious ketamine coach. And we were talking, and I was just being me, my enthusiastic self about what I do. And she was like, you've sold me based on your confidence.
That part right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like this is exactly what I have been looking for. And
oh my God.
so it made me feel good, and it just speaks to what you're saying. Confidence is more important than competence.
Yeah.
It's not that competence is less important necessarily. I mean, like
You have
to have
Right.
the competence.
Right.
But when you've got that confidence,
Yeah.
that's what speaks volumes.
Because there's lots of people who have the competence and no sales
Yes.
because they don't know how to communicate that.
Yeah.
So what would you say for you, especially in your experience, has been the most important quality for success in sales, in being able to bring on new clients, whether it's private clients, people coming into the academy? What's your biggest sales secret?
Authenticity.
All right.
Yeah. I really have gotten to the point where I cannot be anyone other than who I am.
Wow.
And so when I show up authentic, when I share from my heart, because that's really who I am,
Yeah.
I share what I've seen, and I'm authentic and genuine and honest.
Yeah.
people just want more of that.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah.
How did that happen for you? Because there's someone sitting out there that's listening to this podcast right now going, yeah, but how? What is that? Because I know my shift happens as well. I mean, I didn't have confidence as a young woman, had to learn my voice, had to get comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
How did that happen for you, Bronwyn?
I would have to say, now it brings us back to what I do in this world.
Yeah.
Prior to founding the Academy and starting in the business that I am working now with ketamine and coaching, I had my own experience where I was struggling. I was really, really challenged. I was burned out. I was also the target of identity theft.
Yeah.
I got long COVID and was diagnosed with skin cancer. So all these things were piling on me. And honestly, there were days I could barely get my head off the pillow.
Yeah.
And that at the time, now, part of the reason why I was feeling burned out is I was working with 25 to 30 high performance clients every week.
Wow.
And so that was a lot. And it was, during COVID when everyone else was maybe at home and doing, I was working, like my load was really big.
Yeah.
And through that, I have a sense that I may not have been as authentic back then as I am now. And so I think that was part of why I was feeling so burned out and stressed out, because I was kind of trying to, again, be someone that I wasn't. Although I love coaching. I've always been authentic with my coaching and with my clients. But I was trying to hold a pace that was just not congruent with me. So I got really, really burned out. So in that, I tried what other people know and what I had done for decades, and that is therapeutic ketamine. I mean, that is conventional talk therapy.
Right.
And it worked to a point, but I was nowhere near back. And I needed to be back. I had to let go of all my clients. I couldn't be there for my kids. So it was just a really, really challenging time. Then my naturopathic MD recommended that I look outside the box. Look at alternative healing modalities. One of them being therapeutic ketamine. And so I sought out a guide. I did it very professional. Ketamine is safe. It's legal. I did it very professionally, being the, reporter and the professional that I am. I wanted to make sure everything was lined up. So I sought out a guide, found someone to guide me through the process in a safe setting. And within one session, one afternoon of experimenting and trying therapeutic ketamine, I got to see very clearly what was holding me back.
Wow.
And the biggest lesson I learned in that was that I was afraid to die. It was like I had had an ego death, which when you talk about like ego, that was me trying to be someone other than who I truly am. And when that dissolved in my therapeutic ketamine session, I remember getting out of that session afterwards going, I am never going to play small again, to try to fit in a box that someone else has set up for me. I am going to speak out loud. I am going to be truthful and authentic and speak everything that I need to say. That for me was the turning point. And I haven't looked back. That was almost 5 years ago. And I have not stopped or missed a beat.
Wow.
I
love hearing your story, because I feel like I get a chance to kind of see that evolution and how it gets better and better as the weeks and months go by. If you're someone who hates to network because you don't always know what to say, I get you. I'm an introvert too, and I've created a free gift for you. It's my Networking and Sales Handbook just for introverts, and it is at tishtimes.com. It'll be the first pop-up you'll see. Grab it. Let me know what you think about it. It's free. Go grab it right now. What would you say who would you say is your dream client, and how do you master connecting with them in a way that feels effortless for you?
I love that. Great question. My dream client, they are people, or clients, they're people who are open-minded, who are also wanting to serve humanity and to help in this mental wellness, this mental health crisis that we're in.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to create greater impact in the world, someone who is open to new ideas and looking at things differently. Someone enthusiastic about life. Yeah. They want to serve. They maybe even want to create greater revenue in their business, because these are people who are wanting to bring therapeutic ketamine into their practice or business.
Yeah.
So it's not so much industry specific, like, oh, I'm only going to be looking for realtors, or I'm only looking for a certain group. It's more of a mindset and the way they show up in the world. Someone who is just wants to serve and has a big heart.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Bronwyn, tell me this, because I see how amazing the work that you do, how it impacts people. And I know that, shifting and beginning to really focus on this audience could not have been easy. What would you say has been your biggest sales flop? A time where things just didn't work out quite the way you would hope they would in that conversation.
Well, there are a lot of those.
We all have a lot of them, for sure.
Especially at the beginning, because I did not know how to speak about what I do.
Right.
I knew how to describe what it did for me, but I didn't know how to translate that into what is it for them.
Yeah, that's so good.
So one of the things that I remember early on is talking about therapeutic ketamine and trying to talk about it in a therapy way. Therapy and coaching are completely different.
They are, very much so.
They are two different things. Therapy, I'll explain briefly. Therapists, they take their clients where they are today and they look back and they go back into their childhood, back into their traumas and work on that. And it's very beneficial and very necessary.
Right.
But a coach takes their client where they are today and they are future focused.
Yeah.
We move our clients forward.
Right.
We help them start dreaming again and start looking at what's possible. So when I was out early on, now keep in mind back then, there was no such thing as ketamine coaching.
Right.
That was an industry and a lane that I created.
Right.
So my flaw was that I was trying to talk about it as if I was a therapist. And the problem with that is I was starting to get clients who were severely depressed and severely anxious and severely they were just trying to get to baseline.
Yeah.
Well, that's not my client.
Right.
So I was attracting clients, but not being able to work with them because that was not my client.
Yes.
So I had to shift my language into how to speak to them as a coach.
Yeah.
So now the words that I use based on that, I don't talk about depression and I don't talk about PTSD or trauma or anything when I'm speaking to someone.
Yeah.
I talk about empowerment. I talk about growth. I talk about evolution. Where do you feel stuck? And let's get you unstuck so that you can step into the greatest version of yourself.
Wow.
And then I help them create the roadmap to get there.
My God. Well, let's just kind of dial back for a moment because you gave such a great lesson. The lesson that I heard in what you said is we sometimes try to talk about our service or our product based on the experience we had, not helping the client to see what solution they can actually, be able to gain from it. And we find ourselves trying to talk about it in a way that does not serve our ideal client, which means we attract the wrong client and we think our system is broken, and that's not the case. So that in and of itself is a masterclass. It really is.
Yes.
It absolutely is. Are there any tools, be it technology, be it something that's more self-care, are there any tools that you feel help you or would help our audience to really be at their best as they're standing up their business or growing their business or learning how to sell, especially when it's something that's brand new for them?
Absolutely. Get a coach.
Girl.
Get a coach.
Yeah.
You and I have been working together for a few years, and there is no way I could be doing the work that I am doing without a coach.
Yeah.
Without you, without the others that were helping me along the way. There's no way I could have been like you. What you do for me is you breathe life into my project.
Wow.
You breathe belief into me.
I'm going to have to send you, you're going to make me cry. I'm going to send you a picture.
I'm teary too.
I'm going to have to send you a picture. I'm going to find, because on my wall, my core values, we talked about it during the retreat.
Yeah.
And they were like, how do you describe what you do for your clients? Do you know what it said? I breathe life into my clients. And I say that confidence is like life. It's like the breath of life.
Yes.
And so I never heard anyone else mirror that back to me, but that's what I've said for many years privately. So, wow. Thank you for that.
Well, now you know. You do. That's exactly what you do.
Wow.
You breathe life into every single person that you meet, Tish.
Thank you so much.
And it just has completely catapulted my business and my belief in myself.
Oh.
And you know, too, there were times along the way for me that were hard.
Yeah.
And I was crying and I feel teary.
I know. I'm going to cry. Yeah. But you got back up and you did it, though, every time.
Every time. Yes. And by looking in your eyes, by you talking to me and the way that you do, you brought that back to me. Like, to know that, I can do this.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy, as we all know.
Right.
But having a coach, I think, is the most important tool.
Wow.
I would not consider even doing the work that I do as a certified conscious ketamine coach without having my own coach.
Wow.
And I have believed that for 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, I've been a coach. I've been in the coaching industry for 25 years.
Yes.
And I always had a coach. I couldn't imagine not, just being out there like rogue all by myself as a coach, thinking that I'm going to be the best for my clients without my own. How do you even sell that?
Yeah.
Like, how would you sell your coaching services if you did not have a coach?
Yeah. You know what's interesting? That's such a powerful thing, because most people, when I ask that question, they say, oh, my CRM, da-da-da. But that's a really powerful, so true. And I feel like it's hard for people to sell and get people to invest in them when they've not made an investment for themselves.
Yes.
It's almost like you're trying to convince someone to do something you don't really believe in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that reminds me of whenever I'm working with a client and I hear my client say, oh, this client of theirs, they're not paying them. They're being slow in paying, or gosh, I thought I had this client, but then this client stopped because they couldn't pay. Whenever I hear that, I ask them, so what's your buying process?
Yes.
How do you pay for coaching?
Yeah.
How do you buy anything?
Yeah.
Do you do it with gratitude and glee and excitement? Or do you hold off? Do you wait to the last minute to pay your coach?
Yeah.
And do you change your mind on things?
You're sowing seeds.
10 out of 10 times, when they say that to me, they are doing the exact same thing.
That is so good. They're sowing seeds and not realizing that they're reaping what they've sowed.
Exactly.
Wow, that is
so now what I do is I'm like robust. Like I'll pay my clients or my coaches. I'm excited to pay them because I know the value.
Yes.
And even let's just say with like our electric bills or our water bill. I pay all my bills ahead of time. I don't wait till like the last minute where I'm like clutching the last little bit of money. I'm like 2 weeks prior. Let's get it off. Let's do it.
That is the difference between someone having a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. Because abundance means wherever I sow it, it's always coming back to me. Scarcity means, and I understand it very clearly, unfortunately, because I've been there. It means if I pay this, how am I going to eat? You're never thinking about the fact that there's always a reciprocal, effect and cycle for you because of the way that you sow.
Exactly.
That is so good. Oh
exactly.
My God. I talk to you all the time, and I didn't realize how good this was going to be. I knew it was going to be good, but good gracious, this is so good. Tell everyone, Bronwyn, in our last few minutes here, how can they reach out to you? And then, if you would, tell us, who are the primary people? I know the people specifically that you generally work with. Who is the person who's like, they're going to hear their industry, or not industry, but what they do and say, that's me. Who's that person and how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, well, I love those who are, again, just open-minded. Open-minded. They may already be running their own alternative wellness company. I also train medical professionals. Doctors, nurses, anyone who is looking to advance in the mental wellness space.
Right.
We are now in a crisis of epic proportions when it comes to mental health. Coming off of COVID, like we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg yet as to what the fallout is going to be in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years. And those who are willing to serve, we are banding now. We're banding together. We're arm in arm. We are leading the mental wellness revolution. And if this speaks to them, now is the time. I love to say, like, where we are kind of in this space. So you might hear, oh, we're on the crest of the wave. What I see it is, okay, let's just say this is the wave. We're back here. We're not even here yet. We're here. So now is the time to jump in and start offering your gifts and services. I have students in the academy right now, a hypnotherapist, a transformational coach, a TEDx strategist, even a Reiki master. A medical doctor. So it varies. It's really more of the calling that you have. We're creating a dynamic community, like a community that is all of us are lifting up. This isn't about competition or anything. First off, there is no competition.
Right.
First off. Second of all, we're all in this together to lift this up. And to help heal humanity.
Wonderful.
So the way they can reach me is my website, ketamineassistedcoaching.com. And there's a special tab right on there that says Get Certified. They can reach out for a free 30-minute clarity call just to see if it's right for them.
Perfect. I am so first of all, I'm so proud of you. I mean, you've done amazing work and you're helping so many people. And it was such a pleasure to have you here on the podcast. Thank you for coming. And those of you all who are listening, if this spoke to you and you heard her enthusiasm, you heard her exuberance, which I told you were going to get, I love it. Make sure you reach out to Bronwyn because she is a delight, absolute delight. And she's very, very serious about helping to change the world of mental health. So I will see you back here next week. Make sure you take something that you heard today, put it into practice, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to the Sold Out Sales podcast. I would be so appreciative if you would show me and my amazing guests some love by leaving a review on your favorite podcasting platform. Also, go over to tishtimes.com/resource page and make sure you pick up your Sales and Networking Handbook, especially for introverts. Also, I would love to continue this conversation, so make sure you connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'll see you back here next week.